Ancestor Spirit. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising in the North Node. I've cleansed the space and meditated on the cards. Ancestors, messages for Aries. Find your voice. Express yourself. Open up and sing out. Your creative expression is the only way to get in touch with your divinity. That self-love, self-worth. These were kind of brought to the forefront with some of the content that that recently just resonated with me. Don't be afraid to express yourself. Like a post I made the other day that, you know, eventually the people that are no good for you are going to play themselves out of your life. And as hard as that is to swallow, to try to soften that message. Open up to yourself about who you are first, and really take a moment to kind of sit and go within and reevaluate what that is, because that's going to evolve over time. And as you evolve, you have to reevaluate who you are for yourself first. And then you find yourself coming out of this period of solace, being up in the attic, after you process these things, the good, the bad, or the ugly, and you open yourself up to others. And, you know, what were the lyrics of that song? It was very old. It was an old song. Leanne Womack, I hope you dance. When you get the choice to sit it out or dance. That's attitude leaving your body. Take what resonates. Let's proceed. Ancestors, for messages for Aries. Give me 2 more. Connect with past on loved ones. Sense, feel, and reconnect. Santa Muerte is coming up. I believe it's in early November. The premise of Santa Muerte and the Day of the Dead, the Book of the Dead, is the same premise of your ancestors and the people who have passed on and who are no longer with us. So it's really not something scary in like the Mexican culture, you know, for example, because, you know, we respect people from all denominations of religion, culture, even we're supposed to, and even politics. But they believed that death was something to be celebrated. like when someone passed on. I think the premise of the message from this card is like when someone passed on, as much as we mourn, or we have to go through that process of processing the grief, the healing part, learning how to live without them, comes from celebrating their influence and impact that they had on our lives, and the things that they did while they lived, the things that we enjoyed about them, the happy moments. So they believed that, like, it was necessary to connect at times or during this time with your passed on loved ones in a positive way. They celebrated with connecting with each other and the fond memories that they had. And they recognized that, like, life and death and the evolution of that, and the rebirth and all these things that we go through in the process of our life, that is just, unfortunately, another part of it. Not to go off in another direction, but that just goes to show you how, you know, like, we mourn the absence of people's presence in our lives, and we mourn death. But they say that a lot of us don't have the patience to, for example, deal with people who are sad or depressed. So we talk about those things a lot, and especially recently we try to emphasize on mental health and self-care and love and all those things. We talk about it, but we're not very good at processing it. It's become an uncomfortable part of, I don't know, the modernized domestic American culture that I grew up in. That these are just observations that were made about patterns and stuff that I picked up on. So, and last but not least, upskill, work, career, and crossroads. So maybe you're thinking about, to me this says that, you know, you're thinking about maybe increasing your, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe upscaling your current career, or you're thinking about taking up new hobbies and interests. You're evolving, and with evolution of the environment, the economy, all these things around us, you know, we all want growth and change, and sometimes that is painful. But in order to keep up with this change, because if there's one thing that's certain, you know, if there's one thing that's certain in life, it's change. Things will change, and it's up to you to evolve and adapt. Evolve or repeat. And sometimes when we learn lessons, even the hardest ones, we really don't want to go back and continue to repeatedly experience the same things, or we fall back into old low vibrational patterns of thinking. No, upskill. Add to your palette. I kind of want to pull one more, but I want to make sure we have time to get through the resources. So let's start with ingesting what we have in front of us. The tradition of Mongolian throat singing reaches back to nomadic herders who took advantage of the open landscapes where sounds could carry across long distances. Throat singers travel to remote areas looking for a place to connect and sing. You might find yourself going to different places, maybe even at times spontaneously without reason. Maybe you just go and I don't know why I'm being prompted to interject and give this to you, but like, look at this man. He is just like sitting. Let's take in the imagery. This man is just sitting like out in the middle of like a valley or a field, and he's like, looks like he's playing some type of musical instrument. So maybe you have a guitar or a cello. If it's nice, go sit outside or go find a spot outside. And look, he's by the water. There's like a lake or something behind him and some mountains. Just go out somewhere where you're prompt to be, where you can be alone. You don't have to sing out in front of a crowd. Some choose a spot near a river or a stream, while others might prefer a mountaintop or plain land, and they believe everything in nature has its own spirit and sound. A throat singer connects with nature spirit by imitating its sound. And they might reproduce the noise of an animal, running water, wind, and impressively more than one sound at a time. To channel the right energy, a throat singer strives to maintain a positive attitude and a strong soul as they sing. Singers open themselves as channels during performances for powerful connection and communication with their audience. Open your throat chakra. So you can sing and communicate more effectively with others. Singing is very healing. It relaxes and opens you to positive energy. Do not worry about the tone or sound of your voice. Tune in to the kind of music that will produce the kind of energy you want to manifest. The music industry today and the symbolism and the things that you are projecting outwardly affect your vibration. Sit with that. Don't worry about the tone or sound of your voice. Just have fun creating sound and enjoy expressing yourself. You do not have to sing in front of anyone. You can sing in the car or at home alone. But then, if you'd like to have some fun singing karaoke with your friends, go for it and enjoy. Singing is natural and everyone can do it. Notice how you feel when you sing without inhibition. Raising your voice is uplifting, and it builds your core strength. This card is encouraging you to bring more song into your life. If you already sing, step it up by taking lessons, joining a choir, or going professional. If you don't usually sing often, try to release any fears or judgment of your voice. And find your melody. Harmonize with the radio, hum along with the rain. Sing wherever and whenever you can until singing becomes more natural for you. Express yourself. Maybe you don't express yourself through song or singing or music. Maybe the idea of finding your voice is the way you communicate with others. things you read, you know, your body is a temple. That hypothetical system is that, like, everything, you know, excuse my French, but like they say, you know, pants say yoga, ass says McDonald's. You know, you can't cheat the grind, okay? It's not going to give you anything you haven't worked for. Money come, money go. If it come easy, it go easy. There's no elevator. In life, you have to take the stairs. Where were we? Yes, express yourself, find your sound, and share your beautiful voice with others. So maybe you're into writing. Maybe you're into painting. We all have different forms of expression and sharing or finding our voice. And you decide what kind of level of transparency you want to bring forward with that. The Aztecs, the Aztecs more appropriately, had a complex cosmology and a ritual calendar dedicated to their many deities. They held a strong belief in the afterlife and thought the way they died determined whether they would go up in spirit to the sun god, Ra, or down to the dark underworld. The underworld was ruled by the god and goddess of the dead. As a guardian of the afterlife, oversaw festivals of the dead. Over time, her traditions evolved to Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, which in modern-day Mexico is celebrated on the 1st and 2nd days of November. During Dia de los Muertos, the gates of the underworld open and spirits are allowed to reunite with their families. The living and the dead reconnect with family feasts, dancing, and celebrations. It is believed that keeping their deceased loved ones happy will bring good luck, wisdom, direction, love, and protection for the living family. You have to think that, maybe the ones that have left us or come before us, whether we were able to experience them in this lifetime, that, they are entities. I don't know. It is a traditionary custom belief that our souls are not new. None of them. Like, how do I explain this? In Buddhism, not to jump over to another rock in the middle of this, but in like Buddhism, for example, the Buddhists believe in reincarnation. And they say, like, just like Santa Muertes or Muertos, the Day of the Dead. They believed, like, where'd it go? Where they had the strong belief that the way they died, or maybe even the way that they lived, determined whether they would go up in spirit or down to the underworld. So in other cultural religious denominations, like, heaven or hell, we believe that when we're gone from this earth, we can't take our material possessions with us. The only thing that people will remember about us when we are no longer here is like the way that we lived and the way that we made other people feel. This is not for a lack of, you can have unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance of behavior, or that your presence, the presence in someone's life while they lived, if they made bad decisions, that's not unconditional, their presence in your life. So it isn't without boundaries. It isn't without limitations. It isn't without the law of cause and effect. So people will remember how you lived and the way you made them feel, and what you did in your life, what you built, what you created, what you shared with others. Where were we? It is believed that keeping their deceased loved ones happy would bring good luck, wisdom, direction, love, and protection for the living family. Pay attention to what you feel around you, as well as your 5 key physical senses. You have a sixth sense that connects you to the spiritual world, and this card indicates that your sixth sense is strong. Your ancestors or loved ones in spirit are trying to get your attention. They are sending you signs that they are with you and they love you very much. Watch for their signals and be open to connecting with them. Sometimes we create a lot of drama or anxiety around these things, feeling like we energetically experience connection or reaction from the spiritual realm. And it's kind of something that you have to, it's an acquired taste, and it's something that you kind of have to get adjusted to. I mean, you could just continue to completely ignore it. You decide what makes you feel comfortable. When we lose people close to us, it's rest in peace, because we're supposed to show respect. Regardless of what happened. Learn how to connect with your loved ones in spirit so they can bring guidance, confirmation, and encouragement in times of stress or trouble. You may sense your past loved ones when the hair on your arm rises, or when you feel the heat or cold in and around your body. You may also experience sensation in your stomach or a heightened need to be on alert. And when this occurs, take a moment to ground. Breathe deeply, clear your mind, and allow guidance to arise in your heart, mind, or feelings. And this may be helpful in this situation. I just want to say that regardless of how you feel, you are always responsible for the way that you act or react. I'm learning that sometimes when I'm having uncomfortable feelings, or I find myself even on a separate note frustrated, that it's better to just sit with it. Not because I'm ignoring how I feel or losing my voice, okay? Yes, express yourself, but We're going to move on to upskill. Be conscious about that expression. Be more conscious about that expression. And make sure that what you're giving off is going to continue to be more of what you receive. So feel it. All of our emotions are natural. Just don't unpack and live there, because it will only continue to hurt you. So upskill, work, career, and crossroads. You might be thinking about a change in direction completely. That's okay. You don't have to be defined by the way other people have perceived you in the past. You can choose to take a different direction at any time and decide, you know what, this is not making me happy, this is not working for me. And decide that you want something else, or you want more, or you want less, or you want simplicity out of life. The philosophy, sciences, and technologies of the ancient Greek civilization had a significant impact on many other cultures. Education was highly valued and focused on the art of peace and war. In Aries, I'm learning more in depth and detailed as I go, but Aries is an astrological anomaly so associated with Mars. So Mars is the ruling planet of Aries, and in Greek mythology it was known as the god of war. This I know. And Aries is a fire sign. So fire is your element, and Mars is your planet. And there's other different kinds of associations. You have a directional association. I don't have these things in front of me. It's hard to memorize and regurgitate all of these things. So wealthy Greek children studied art, literature, sciences, math, and politics. Usually the boys were taught at home until they were 6 years old. After this, they went to school, where they furthered their studies, learning poetry, debate, and how to play musical instrument. That quote that I love by Plato, it was when it mentioned politics. Plato was we're not going to go into what Plato was. An author, a writer, he was a poet. He had works along with Shakespeare, different philosophical things. They have multiple areas of identification in history. But Plato said politics. I know we focus a lot about the economy and how we don't care for the way things are going. And let me just interject quickly and say Plato said something about choosing not to participate in politics, even though it can be frustrating and kind of daunting. There's a lot of drama and negativity, smear campaigning, all these different opposing beliefs, because politics can be just as bad as religion in a negative sense and things like that. The things that divide us, like refusing to participate in politics, Plato said, means that we are going to be, means to be governed by your inferiors. So if you don't like the way things are going, take control. You have to require yourself to participate, even when it's not fun. When boys were 18, they attended military school for 2 years. Boys from poorer families were not sent to school. They were trained in trade or craft on the job, but would also learn the basics of reading, writing, and arithmetic. Most Greek girls did not attend school unless they were from a wealthy family. If a mother could read and write, she might teach her daughter to read, write, do simple maths, and keep accounts alongside domestic duties so she could better manage a household. In the Greek state of Sparta, the primary purpose of education was to produce and maintain a powerful army. Spartan military school was challenging. Everything in the Spartan educational system was about war and battle. Spartan girls also attended military school. Their school was not as brutal as the boys, but they were taught how to handle a weapon and kill. They could also wrestle and fist fight. You're stuck at a crossroads, and more information and education is the way forward. Upskilling or studying may be the solution to a career or finance issue. It is time for a change. Empowering yourself with new skills and knowledge will help you direct that change. You are ready to make a positive shift, but have been underestimating your ability to study or master something new. You do not necessarily need to do formal study at a college or university. Doing a short course, attending a seminar, or completing a weekend workshop might be a good place to start. When I bought my sewing machine, they offered free classes at Joann Fabrics. They have institutional courses on like do-it-yourself projects and stuff like that at Home Depot. So, be courageous and disciplined like the ancient Greek warriors, and do not settle for a job or career that does not suit you well. Ask yourself, how could you stimulate your career progress and increase your opportunities? Be honest with yourself about what you could improve and take steps towards achieving what you want in your career. Now's the perfect time for you to go forward and make these changes. Thank you, Ancestor Spirit, and we're going to go ahead and bring that reading to a close. I hope you'll join me next time.